What's up, everybody? Welcome to another random movie review. I got my boy Slasher with me tonight. What's going on, Slasher? How you doing?
What's going on?
You doing all right?
Yep.
All right, cool.
We just did my pick of the list of movies. Judgment.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Judgment Night. And we got the resident kitty,
Yeah.
Moira. How you doing, darling?
I'm doing all right.
Cool. And special guest tonight. Oh my God! Please stop.
I was purring for
You're
Moira
communicating with
because
me.
she's. I was purring for Moira because she's Moira Kitty.
Yeah,
Don't-
you're communicating with me.
And I had
Don't
a,
make me think.
and I had a stripper one time that purred in my ear during a lap dance, and it was the most erotic thing.
I would say something to that, but we're on here, so I'm not.
Yeah, save it for later. Yeah,
And well, I'll probably forget by then. To be fair.
I won't let you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And also we got. Oh, okay, all right. Anyway, you lost me on that one.
Oh, I was going to
just
tell you
black.
to remind me of the stripper purr, and that will remind me.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. And also, I got my good friend, my brother, my cohort, the leader of Team Han Star. What's going on, Han? How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother.
Awesome. Thanks for joining in.
I hope you're also doing well. I'm doing good. I'm off today, so any day I'm not at work is a good day.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, we had used to be Bees Nest movies and films. Now it's just Bees for now. He popped in earlier. Appreciate it, Bees.
Oh, I need to. That just reminded me. I need to go and pop the chat out.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that out loud. I'm sorry.
Don't be popping shit out on my stream, all right?
Woo!
I'm not gonna pop anything out personally. I will pop it out personally on my computer, but not on your stream.
Okay, just make sure we can't see it in your lenses, man, because
that
we already
was
have.
more information than we had expected.
Oh God. Oh. Well, anyway. Damn. Lost the one viewer I had. Shit.
All right, sorry. I had to pop out the chat like Han was saying too. I would pop that shit out.
Yeah, you got to do that, man. If not, you have little baby chats running around. It just gets expensive.
Just like the. I'm not gonna say it because this is JJ's stream. I'll just say. I'll just say there was a 2 Live Crew song talking about popping something.
Oh, pop that coochie. That was the clean version of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about because they actually made a clean version of it, which it still didn't make no sense. Holy shit, I can see it. Anyway, yep, we're going to be talking about Emilio Estevez's and Cuba Gooding Jr.'s and Dennis Leary's Judgment Night.
Stephen
Dorff. It's Stephen Dorff.
Is he even worth it? Because he's a little crybaby whiny bitch.
Well, I mean, he probably did what the character told you to be, you know?
And Everlast too, man. Don't forget Everlast.
Don't get me wrong now. I like Everlast, but sorry, he wasn't much of an actor in this movie.
That's wild. I did not realize he was actually in that. I didn't know who Everlast was.
Nobody really realized he was in that movie.
I didn't know about Everlast until I was like, oh,
he
God,
might have not even
17?
realized it.
And they
I don't
had
even
that
know.
song.
I don't even. He probably that's like, wait, I was in that. Oh shit.
He literally had, what was it, like one line?
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
He's like, man, I got one line in this movie. Fuck this. I'm going to become a singer.
He was in more scenes, but he literally had like one line in the whole movie.
I didn't know about Everlast until like that song "What It's Like" came out, and I was like 17.
And Zed from Pulp Fiction. is
Oh,
one
of course, wouldn't it
is
be?
one of Dennis Leary's other goon members, gang member, goons, gang
It's-
members, whatever the fuck you want to say. JJ still never saw Pulp Fiction.
Nope.
I
you
don't
have-
even know what to
What?
say to that.
What?
That's
This
like one of those weird ass classics that you have to see at least once.
this
It's
this
weird.
is
And
this
it's
is
in
almost
Tarantino style.
this.
I would
this
I
is-
would I would
this is-
actually put the safe money on JJ not liking it if he watched it.
It's
He-
very weird. It's one of those movies you want to watch a couple of times
Yeah,
because
but
one scene will happen and then it looks like it kind of went back in time and it's actually showing you what happened, a different scene at the same time in another part of town.
Well,
So
to be fair, okay, no, I haven't seen the entire movie. I've seen bits and pieces of it. You know, I know about the Royale with cheese and the other shit. Walking around with his fucking
Big brain on
suitcase and everybody.
bread.
do you speak English, MF?
You speak English, motherfucker?
Do you speak it?
Yeah.
Do you speak English, motherfucker?
Do you
Yeah.
speak it?
Hi, Crow.
What's up, Mar? How you doing?
Mar,
Hello.
what's up?
Hello.
How's our resident German?
He's watching 3 streams at the same time.
We love your dedication.
Just don't
Yeah,
cross
yeah.
streams. If you cross streams, that's bad.
No, don't tell LDG that. He does that all the time.
LDG.
LDG is the only one that I know that thinks it's good to cross streams.
Dude,
Uh,
if you were off on a Saturday night, maybe the next time you're on vacation, if you're able, check out a Nerdgasm,
Hi,
man.
Jen.
Hey, Jens Better, what up? How you doing?
I was calling Jens because it's a J.
How are you doing, Jens?
It's yeah, forget the J, it's with a Y.
Well, that's kind of Hebrew or something.
Who knows? He is in the UK, you know.
Darius,
Well, yeah, they're
what's
kind
up,
of a melting
Darius?
pot.
Darius Munchausen, what's up, man? You got the link.
Hi,
Darius, you
Darius.
had the link if you want to hang out, you know, just let you know.
Yeah, get your ass up here.
And the rest of you.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's
Wow.
that. I mean, yeah.
See, I can't compete with that. Every time Darius comes on, I'm like, okay, that's cool.
He says it's
Because he's probably got a pretty smile to go with that sexy voice he's got, right?
Probably, yeah.
I've never
probably.
seen his smile, so I really don't know.
Well, I
mean,
don't have a smile. I ain't got no fucking teeth.
And I've never seen Darius. I don't mean this as an exact insult to Darius, but there are people that have a voice for radio.
I have
if you know
seen
what I mean.
people whose voice did not match their face, and I've got to say,
and-
Sci-Fi Nation is one of those people. Because when I first saw him, I was like, "Your voice doesn't match your face. What the fuck?" You know.
There are, and again, I'm not talking about you, Darius. I'm just saying there are people that they say, "Oh, yes, they have a voice for radio."
The little I have seen, Darius's voice matches his face.
Okay. Like
That's
I said,
weird
I wasn't specifically pointing him out specifically.
Well, I
I'm just
am
saying.
at this point.
But anyway, all right, I got no simple question.
Yeah, Darius is right. A face for radio. They say it's a face for radio.
Well, yeah, but I
Meaning-
mean, you need a voice for radio too. But
Well,
yeah.
meaning you have a good voice, but you're
No,
not going to be on TV.
I'm skinnier than you would think, he said. Well, yeah, but I mean, you're like thin to medium build. What little I've ascertained from little bits of pictures here and there. I need to eat something. Bitch, eat a cheeseburger then.
A Royale with cheese.
Yes.
JJ, whether you like it or understand, and I don't mean this to say like you're an idiot. Whether you understand it or get it or not or like it, Pulp Fiction is almost as bad as you saying as a partaker of the medicine that you had never seen Cheech and Chong movies.
Right.
Everybody
Oh, yeah.
has seen
Yeah, you know
Pulp
what?
Fiction.
I will say yes. Pulp Fiction is a good sit down with your friends or something, getting fucked up and watching.
And the reason he said if you don't get it is because Tarantino has a very strange storyline style that sometimes you gotta watch the movie a couple of times to realize.
I've seen a Tarantino film before.
Yeah, so it's very strange.
it's kind of like Fight Club. You have to watch it 2 or 3 times really to take everything.
rather
in.
not. I'd rather
Well, no,
not.
that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
Yeah,
you gave
Fight
it a
Club's
chance, didn't like it. Fair enough.
Fight
Hi,
Club is
Cassie.
one. I can't watch Fight Club sober. It's impossible.
You can't watch over. What the fuck?
Chasis, what's up, man? Chassis, how you
I
pronounce
just
it?
gonna call him chassis.
Hello.
Like a
What's
car
up?
chassis.
All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna start. We're gonna start this now. We're 11 minutes in. We ain't said a fucking word except for about what movie we're talking about.
That's words.
Yes, and we've been chatting and interacting with the chat and stuff like that.
We're getting-
I understand that, but this ain't randomness at its finest.
We're getting the
That's
I
chat.
don't see it
We're
necessarily
getting the
rules it
chat.
out.
We're getting the chat filled up, JJ. That's what we were doing.
Yeah,
and,
I got.
we were also pointing out the fact that it's horrible that you haven't at least seen Pulp Fiction one time.
You know what? There's a lot of good, what people consider good movies. There's a lot of them that I haven't seen, and a lot of the times it's just because it didn't interest me at the time or now. This movie we're talking about tonight, Judgment Night, I never would have thought twice about watching it ever.
I never seen it. I never would have thought. Honestly, I didn't know it existed until you told me that we were gonna watch it tonight. And if I had started to watch it, honestly, I would not have finished the whole movie if we hadn't been together watching the movie. No offense, Slasher. I'm just
No, I got you.
know.
We were picking random movies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I get that. I'm
This
just.
was one I picked probably about a month or two ago.
Well, and when it was a movie from it's from late
93.
'90s.
93.
Oh, okay, early.
1992 or 3 or something.
Yeah,
92.
so at that time, I may have watched it because it made more sense, but 2021.
I saw that this was something I saw on VHS back in the 90s, probably around the
Okay.
time it first
This
came
was
out
on cable on someone's apartment, and they had the door open.
That
and,
sort of
like,
stuff. It's
Like,
that sort of
me and some other
movie.
people were hanging out near there, and we were kind of peeking in and kind of watching the movie as they were like hanging out. So that's how it's kind of.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna start things like normal. I'm gonna take a ride around the panel, and I need some thoughts from you guys. Slasher, give me some brief. What was your overall thoughts about this movie?
All right, well. All right, the them running from everyone after they. All right, well. The RV, the Jeremy Piven is being an asshole and takes the RV into a neighborhood that they shouldn't be in. A neighborhood that's populated by like one homeless guy and then a guy that they hit with the RV. Oh, they're on their way to a boxing match, by the way. So,
Okay.
wait, who's the crew? It's Emilio Estevez, Steven Dorff, Cuba Gooding, and
And
fucking
Ray
Jeremy.
Yeah,
Jeremy
Jeremy
Piven.
yeah,
Jeremy Piven.
that's
Being
that's
an
their
asshole.
crew.
Yeah, he's being an asshole though. Yeah, they're
And-
crew. They're getting
and-
shit faced while Jeremy Piven's driving the thing.
Well, I bet this
Yeah.
sobered him up.
It's like empty bottles of vodka.
Oh, that's always good. Hit somebody with an RV. after
and
you
it
have contact
and
with
it
the
was
ball.
it was in a motorhome he was supposedly test driving that he had not actually bought.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Man, that's a lot to unpack after they have to deal with the police. Holy crap!
And Emilio's
Yeah,
wife.
but
Emilio's wife-
even though.
I don't want you to go, Emilio. Remember, Emilio's wife is on the porch with the kid. I don't want you
What's
to
up,
go.
Nandroid? Good to see you,
Yeah.
man.
Hey, what's up, Nindroid?
Android, what's up?
Yeah, but you know, even for an older movie, you look at that RV, man. It had everything in it. And excess TVs, you know, the fully stocked bar, fridge, you know, bathroom.
I couldn't get over how many CRT TVs were in it, and the one that was like 25 or maybe 30 something inches that we were talking about. Look at the big screen. Look at the big screen. And now people have TVs that are like 70 or 80 something inch flat panels. And as Slasher was talking about when we were watching the movie, they had the original NES with the light zapper and all that stuff.
They also had a fax machine too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. He's like, oh great, now I bought a big screen TV and a fax machine, and it was like a TV like this big and a weird like little fax machine.
You know, when he picked the fax machine up, I just mentioned this before we went live. I thought it was a fucking VCR, man. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But he said fax machine. I'm like, what?
I did too. I totally thought it was something like a VCR when he picked it up. And then he's like, oh, great. I bought a big screen TV and a fax machine. I was like, a fax machine? What? A fax machine?
Yeah. It's one of them things, y'all. You know, it's just you saw a bunch of callbacks for real in this movie. I'm talking about old school. You know, look at the RV, man. That thing looked like it is almost 20 years old.
Honestly, that RV to me looked like something actually from like the 70s or possibly 80s. It didn't even look like 90s to me.
What was that? The phone? The phone you said he had?
Yeah. He had a Motorola. He had a Motorola flip phone with an antenna that pulled out. That was actually plastic. It wasn't really a real antenna because I used to have one of those.
Yep, so did I.
Where the thing flipped open at the bottom and you pulled the antenna out. But the antenna was just plastic. It wasn't even a real antenna.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I never understood that old plastic antenna shit. I never got it.
I didn't get it either.
Because I had one. I had a couple of those. You know, and then slowly but surely, when they did away with the antenna, I'm like, okay, how the fuck are we supposed to get reception now? They did away with this fake ass antenna. But hey, I'm glad they got rid of it.
But everybody that talked on it would pull that antenna out.
Yep.
And it was just like super cheap ass floppy plastic. And I'm like you. The next cell phone I had it wasn't a flip phone, but it was just like a mini brick phone. You know, it wasn't like the old school brick phone, but it was like a mini brick phone. Mm-hmm. And it just had like this little bitty antenna at the top, and
the little rubber nub at the end.
Yeah, and I was I was like you. I was like, this ain't gonna receive anything, man. This is gonna be crappy as shit because I don't have the antenna to pull out. But now, in hindsight, I realized that antenna was just, I don't know if it was for looks or to make people feel better and or for looks. I don't know, but and somebody may Google it and correct me and correct JJ, but maybe there was a wire in the middle of it that I don't know that there was a wire in the middle of it. But to me, looking back on it now, it felt like just a cheap-ass floppy piece of plastic, like a kid's play phone you would get at Walmart.
Yeah. Moreover, you only saw the part of the movie when you came in, right?
Yeah. They're in that weird-ass store. It's like a flea market or something.
Well, what'd you think? What was your thoughts on it from what you've seen?
The supermarket barn. The supermarket barn.
Yeah. The original Walmart barn.
Motherfuckers are crazy.
I mean, y'all were more hung up on the background than you were like the actual story of what's going on.
Oh yeah, well there was a lot more before the supermarket barn fight.
Well, that I mean, to be the climax, honestly, that wasn't really the best.
It was a sewer fight. It was a sewer fight.
Yeah.
It was Jeremy Piven getting thrown off the fucking roof while trying to get
after offer that was fucking bullshit because I'm sorry, someone offered me $200,000 back then. Oh yeah, you got a deal, bro.
Even now, I'd take it. Shit.
You know, I was like, yo, you got a deal, but you don't show her the money, I'm hunting you down and killing you. You give him a $15,000 down payment. And still killed him.
I wouldn't have. I'd been like, You know what? Good enough.
And he was a drug in the early '90s. He was a drug dealer in like this crappiest, shittiest ghetto I've ever seen. There was like 5 homeless people. So you can't tell me
Yeah.
he was making
Yeah.
bank like 200 grand. So why would he have not taken the 200 grand? You know, he
Like,
made it
really?
made it seem like he was making millions of dollars, and we all
All right. Well, all right. We're also skating over that whole thing because first of all, like he didn't get introduced till they hit that dude with the RV.
yeah.
While
True.
they're going through where they shouldn't be going, as opposed to staying in traffic. And next thing you know, they're in no man's land because there's just like one dude out there.
Yeah, they took a shortcut.
And Dennis Leary's like, man, and what about my car? Look what you did to my car. And he's the one that ran into them.
He fucking smashed into them. Yeah.
And there was way too much random paper flying through the air. I've
Well,
been
it wasn't the clean. It wasn't the cleanliest streets
I've,
you've seen, man.
I've been to some really bad parts of Atlanta, and there was no random like newspapers flying around and hitting the windshield of my car.
All right. See,
Granted, this
I've
has
seen
been
that before.
more recent, not in the early '90s, but
Gotta look like Back to the Future too. If not a little worse.
yeah.
All right. Han,
So,
what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think the movie was way too drawn out and long, to be honest with you. I mean, I get the plot and all the interactions in the movie with the protagonist and the good guys in the movie, but at the same time, it was like purposely drawn out way longer than it needed to be. And as Slasher was talking about when we watched the movie, the sewer scene, all this could have basically been settled one way or another in the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to go to Bar and Walmart. All this could have been for better or worse for our good guys. This could have all been settled in the sewer, and you know they kept running and kept running and kept running. But then at the same time they kept running. They kept cornering themselves in places that there was little exit, or they didn't try to find any more exit.
He had to. Emilio Estevez decided to burn the RV when they got stuck between the two buildings.
Yeah.
He ran. It's fucking.
I mean, it's like even if you drag it out to the Barn Walmart, you can't tell me there wasn't a back door to the Barn Walmart, because that one dude came out pushing that big ass pallet of beer.
He's screaming into his headphones.
Yeah,
Singing along with his music. Dennis Leary
and it
fires
was
3 shots. He fires like 3 shots. The guy doesn't even notice.
and it was like old school Walkman headphones.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me he didn't hear the shots. And B, you can't tell me you couldn't have ran through the stock room of the Barn Walmart and found like the back door and kept running.
Is that now what it's going to be called? Barn Walmart?
Yeah, it's the barn. Yeah,
It's the barn mart.
Yeah, it's the Barn Walmart, because it looked like Moira said, the part that she saw it looked like a ghetto ass like hillbilly flea market, but yet.
When have you ever seen an upper class flea market?
Well, I'm not saying it was upper class, but I'm saying, like Slasher was saying, they had like a deli section, a produce section, a sporting goods.
You described it as kind of like hillbilly, and I'm like, when have you ever seen
but
It wasn't.
but
They had a
the whole
they had a wind chime section. They had a
the
pottery
the,
section.
the whole point Slasher was making is this was divided into sections like an actual store would be. Not, I mean, I get a flea market. I like flea markets. I've been to flea markets, antique malls, and each stall has different things. This was divided into like purposely made things, like a
Well,
produce section.
it was so Dennis Leary and Emilio Estevez could put each other through display cases for like basically the last 5 minutes of the movie.
And yeah, and break every
Oh my God,
pottery
Jason's saying, what's
and
up, man?
and break like every pottery thing and every glass bowl.
Yeah,
But the thing that was weird to me is, and I see what Moira is saying, is it was like a flea market, is they had like the weird ass chain link fences between areas. But at the same time, it looked like a store and a barn. That's what threw me off. It looked like a store, barn, flea market, or antique mall, but they had
With-
like very specific areas.
With
They had the-
plenty of chain link fence in that bitch.
Yeah,
And
that's
they-
what I'm saying.
they had the empty salad bar too. They had the
Yeah,
empty salad bar.
Which I see the chain link fence if it was like a flea market or antique mall, because that way people can't get in and steal your shit when you're not there.
But that's just where they ended up. They fought in many different
Yeah,
places.
they
Like,
had
they were.
I mean,
I remember they were in the. I guess they were supposed to be lesbians. Were those two women supposed to be lesbians?
Who knows?
They were stuck in the. They were hiding out in their apartment for 5 minutes.
I kind of. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but I kind of had the same feeling.
Well,
that.
come on, guys. Let's be real, okay? Even today, are you telling me two women can't live together?
No. I'm saying. I'm just wondering. I was just saying.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying they can't live together. I'm just saying it seemed like the arrangement was a little bit more than like roommate and friend.
I know, but you make it sound like there's a problem with that anyway.
No, there's not a there's not a problem with that.
I was making a statement. That's what I was saying. I didn't know if these women were supposed to be a couple or not. That's what I was saying. Because they were. You missed that part of the movie.
They left it.
It was part of that movie. It was part of the movie where they were on the run from everybody.
They left it. They left it very ambiguous. Which in the early in the early '90s that doesn't surprise me, but to me the way the whole situation seemed like that, and like I said, it's not an issue to me either. It just seemed like that's kind of the way it was kind of shown.
They were alluding to it.
Yeah, they were alluding to it, but in the early '90s they weren't gonna say that. If you know, if you get what I'm saying.
What's up, LDG?
And
I hope you're doing well.
And like I said, no problem with that. I'm just saying, like Slasher was saying, they kind of like ambiguously alluded to that.
Yeah, but you kept saying it throughout the movie. You can tell it's an old movie. It really did not stand the test of time but
it's not held up well. I'm sorry, Slasher, because this was your pick, but it has not stood the test of time.
Well,
that's not expecting. That's the point of this. We're not expecting to have the same opinion of the movie all the time, right? Otherwise,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
What's up, Chris?
Oh, what up,
Chris?
LDG, what's going on?
By the way,
but,
this is like the first time I've seen this movie, probably over 20 years. Because I've seen it like once or twice on VHS. So sometimes I'll pick movies like that, and it's like, oh, I didn't.
I mean, and honestly,
I don't have the opinion totally of watching this after so long. Don't think that I'm gonna have the same opinion I had when I watched this on VHS, like in high school, when I was in high school. So.
And I can see your reason for the pick and kind of your I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but in 93, what was it, 92, 93, whatever we were
93.
saying.
Yeah, 93.
I would have been like a freshman in high school. So, like you said, at that time, if I had rented the VHS, it would have been probably like a cool action movie. It just hasn't stood the test of time for us now because obviously lots of stuff has changed
I kind of agree with
between
that.
now and then.
Hell, in
agree with that.
'93, on my birthday in '93, I was old enough to drink, so I really wasn't into movies too much. I was out partying my ass off.
Yeah, I graduated in '97, so I would have been like a freshman.
JJ, you never
In
got
'93.
JJ, you never got drunk and went to the movies.
No,
Oh man,
why would I get drunk? Why would I get drunk and go to the movies when I go to the bar and get drunk and get laid?
Do you really want me to date myself? Well, I kind of just dated myself because I said I graduated in '97. But we used to sneak. We would get a Sprite at the movies and drink all the Sprite, and we would sneak Zima into the movies and put Jolly Ranchers in it at the dollar movies. And the last time I remember going to the dollar movies, which would have probably been a year or so after this movie came out, somebody literally pulled out a gun and popped shots off, and then we didn't go to the dollar movies anymore.
see, I was always hearing these horror stories of my local movie theater. Every time I went there was no fucking issue at all. But then I'm always hearing like, oh, there was a fucking huge brawl at the Whitestone the other day. It was the Whitestone Cinema. It was
Well,
this huge fucking
Come on,
place.
come on, Slasher. Did it really
Well-
have white stones?
No, it
Where
was
I-
called. There was no white. I mean, maybe there were white stones being sold in the parking lot, but
No, well, I
Well,
wasn't
I
going
mean,
that route. But
what I'm specifically talking about is the dollar theater.
I know exactly what you're talking about because that's where I saw Gladiator at.
We had a dollar theater, and like I'm sure JJ's dollar theater, they ran movies that were like not at the movies anymore, which is why you got to see them for $1. They probably got the film from the decent movie theaters, like
Now-
the decent movie theaters that we had that showed like the first run movies. They weren't like that. It was the dollar theater. It was like ghetto as hell.
Yeah, me and my ex-wife went and seen Gladiator at a dollar theater, but it was full service because we walked into this theater. Instead of seats, you saw pretty much comfortable desk chairs, and you rolled up and you sat at a table, and it had rows of these because there was a waitress that came around. Shit, we sat in. And you could smoke in this theater also, and we smoked at the time. And
At a dollar theater?
yeah, bro, we sat there. We had our smokes with us. We was watching Russell Crowe and Gladiator. We had a pitcher of beer. We had a blast.
The dollar theater I used to go to was like barely one step above a peep show. So apparently, in the area of Florida that you're from, they had like way better dollar theaters than we had in Louisville, Kentucky, where I grew up.
Well, actually, it wasn't a dollar movie, so to speak. I think movies back then at this place was $5, which was still relatively very cheap.
Yeah, even at that
The most
time,
expensive, the most expensive thing we had in the theater was the pitcher of beer. I think it was like $6 or $7.
I mean, I'm not trying to call you an old fuck, but I don't remember ever going to a theater that you could smoke in. I've never been to a theater that you could smoke in.
You better buckle your ass up, son.
But this theater was straight up dollar theater, period.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Guess what?
I'm holding on.
Call me an old fuck on my own shit. What the hell? I know I'm old, man. Look at this motherfucker. He passed out. Shit. This is stream number 2 that he fell asleep on.
I got zapped. I couldn't help it. I got zapped.
Yeah, tell me about it, Darius. The good old days. There wasn't many of those, man. The one I'm talking about in my town, that was the only one. It was called, unless you went to a drive-in, which we still had one at the time also. This place, they had non-smoking nights, smoking nights. You could order pizza, chicken wings, beer.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I just remembered the name of the theater.
Okay.
Was it called Barn Walmart?
No. No, it wasn't. It wasn't called Barn Walmart, but part of highway for those of you not in the southern region of the United States, Highway 41 used to be the road before the interstate that went from the northern area of the East Coast all the way to Florida. And in parts of that, it was called the Dixie Highway because it went south. So the theater that I used to go to, which was off of 41, but in that area it was called Dixie Highway, was called the Dixie Dozen, was the name of the dollar theater that we used to go to.
Okay, the Dixie Dozen.
Yeah, the Dixie Dozen.
That sounds like a strip club or brothel or something.
Okay, I used to go to a comic book store that was legit next to the only goddamn porno theater I've ever seen in my this area of the Bronx. Anywhere where was public transportation that I could. You take this bus, 12 bus. Like I used to take it right by this huge fucking. They had a huge thing outside, like hey, it's a porno theater. Like it might as well have just said, hey, this is a porno theater. And like a store or two down from it was this place called Wow Comics, and it was a huge, old school comic book store. I was like, maybe you shouldn't have put this comic book store next to where there's gonna be dudes in trench coats coming in and out of the fucking theater.
This has nothing to do with the movie, but something that surprised me recently is in a little strip mall 2 miles from my house. Somebody and it's been in business for probably about 6 months. Somebody opened a brand new sports cards / comic book store.
Wow, that's a risky thing at this point.
Well, that's what I thought when they put the sign up saying what was going to be there in the strip mall. But at the same time, I'm like, well, obviously I hope that they make it. I don't know if they will or not. But it's like you said, that's a super ballsy thing nowadays to open a sports card / comic book store as a brick and mortar store in a strip mall.
Good luck to them.
Yeah, I wish them the best of luck. But it obviously, it looks like I haven't been in there yet, so that doesn't help them out. But
imagine opening up a VHS rental these days.
Well, yeah, it was. With the signage and the way the store looks from outside, because the gas station, which is also by there, is where I buy beer and stuff at. So is why I've mainly seen it. But they've put some money into setting this store up. So I'm like you. I'm like, this is a super ballsy move to set up a brick and mortar comic book and sports card store.
But all right, here's a
Nowadays.
proposal. Here's a proposal. The four of us are going to be the founders of Barn Walmart, right? It's set in stone. We all know what the design of Barn Walmart is. So.
Yeah, lots of an empty salad bar, a deli case, and lots of
empty deli case.
an empty deli case, and lots of chain link fence.
Don't forget the pottery section.
Oh yeah, the glass section. The glass section was right next to the pottery section.
Right next to the wind chimes.
Oh yeah, and we can't forget the wind chimes. That was the most important part. I think that was probably their number one moneymaker was the wind chimes.
That purple glass seashell thing that was on the shelf. Yeah, we sell those.
This makes me think of a funny story, but I'm not going to tell it right now because I don't want to take over JJ's stream because we're talking about the movie.
Let me guess. It starts with the guy you work with, right?
It actually does start with a guy that I work with, but
go figure. Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Is this going back to the trains thing?
No, it didn't have anything to do with the trains in the
Han
movie.
had a bit of a traumatic experience because trains were like for 5 minutes involved in this movie.
And I'm off work, so when I'm off work, I do not want to see or hear trains.
Choo choo, motherfucker, choo choo.
All right, but
And
it's not like the train was moving. It's not
Well,
like
then it bothered me even worse because in my brain I was like, "That's such and such," and that was before such, which is what I told you guys. I was like, "That's such and such before such and such."
You spotted out.
I had to stop this. Had to stop this shit, rewind it, and so he could point some useless random railroad knowledge on us. You know, it's like,
well,
really?
You made me watch something with train apparatuses in it, so I had to give you useless train knowledge.
Hey, I didn't know there was trains in it. Sasha knew there was trains in it.
I didn't even remember there was goddamn trains in it. It's been so long since I've seen it. I hadn't seen this since the 90s.
All right, okay, all right. Fair enough. You know, we all forget our own things. It's fair enough.
You know what I
but
remember?
anyways,
VHS and the soundtrack. That's what I remember most of this fucking movie. Is the VHS renting it. Watching
I'll tell you another movie that I thought had a killer soundtrack to it, and that was Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
See, I've seen the movie. I don't know the soundtrack. I think
the soundtrack's pretty dope for what it is. Kind of like, you know,
you're not
the soundtrack.
You're not talking about Tales from the Hood, are you? It had Snoop
No,
Dogg in it?
no, it has actually. It's Tales from the Crypt, and it's called Demon Knight, like a knight in shining armor. KNIGHT.
Oh. All I can remember of Tales from the Crypt watching it. Well, it was on HBO, right? Wasn't it on HBO?
Yeah, but they made a couple movies.
First time I saw it was on VHS.
I remember it. I remember it when it was on. I'm pretty sure it was on HBO, and I remember the Crypt Keeper going.
Yeah.
There was, but the two movies was Demon Knight and Bordello of Blood, and they didn't make any more movies after that.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Bordello of Blood. I really wasn't. I like Demon Knight. You know, Jada Pinkett Smith, Billy Zane.
I don't know how you didn't like Bordello of Blood because there was way more titties in that movie. There was titties galore.
Hey, that's the only thing that saved the movie for me, honestly.
Was it Dennis Miller? Was it Dennis Miller as the main character?
No. I wasn't a big Dennis Miller fan. No.
With his man.
I'm saying, was it him that pissed you off though to not like the movie?
No. I didn't get pissed. I didn't get pissed off at a movie. You can't get pissed off at a movie if there's titties in it. It's just it wasn't as good as to me. It wasn't as good as Demon Knight.
You had to highlight Darius's last comment.
Why do I have to?
Well, I mean, you don't have to, but it's funny.
The babysitter took me to see Demon Knight in the theater when I was a little kid. I never saw that babysitter again.
So
What'd you
apparently,
Was it because of that movie?
apparently Darius pimped out the babysitter and ratted on the babysitter.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. You know the purple RoboCop with the fedora. You know that's Darius. But anyway, moving forward a little bit,
Yeah,
we're 46 minutes in, and we really ain't talk shit about this movie.
No.
Slasher, name me some stuff that you actually liked about this movie.
The whole chase scenario was cool. Like they could have did a little better setting it up, but the chase through the ghetto as they were drawn into the ghetto, like with like 3 people in it. I mean that was cool. Jeremy Piven is an annoying motherfucker, and me and Han were saying this all the time. they should have just like been like, all right, buddy, you stay behind, and we'll go this way.
They should have kneecapped him as soon as they could and left him for the bad guys.
And more,
I mean,
more
maybe
what
that's
was that?
too extreme.
I said that's messed up.
Like push him,
Yeah, it was.
like push him into. Push him into Dennis Leary. You're like, here you go, Dennis Leary. Take this guy.
First half hour of the movie. That's what they were saying. Man, they just need to leave that motherfucker behind.
And
then when he gets pushed off the building, Slasher was like, Han, you got your wish.
No, the way he acted through the whole movie, you knew it wasn't.
Oh, you knew that
end
you had a feeling he
for
wasn't
him.
making it, right?
Yeah,
So you had
he
the
wasn't making
premonition.
it.
Yeah, I did too. Honestly, when I rewatching this for so long, I remember having that idea that it was like, yeah, he's not making this.
Okay.
He pulls a fucking gun on them. He pulls a fucking gun on them.
Well, and then
These motherfuckers been all trying to stick together, and he pulls a gun on them. All right, first, yeah, because there's a gun in the RV.
that somehow flies out of a drawer at some point, a closed drawer.
But he pulls a gun on him. Yeah, of course, you don't want to see this guy make it through since he's going through that stupid shit. When they're in the women's apartment.
Yeah, he does also act like a dick when they're in the apartment of the women that are helping to hide them. I say then, like you said, he basically acts like a dick through the whole movie, through the whole entire movie. From the beginning to his end, he is the dick of the movie.
After he gets thrown off the building by Dennis Leary, Cuba Gooding Jr. seems to absorb his asshole powers from his dying body, because then all of a sudden Cuba Gooding Jr. becomes the asshole of the crew. And he's fighting with everybody.
Wow. He inherited an asshole. That's great.
Yeah, he did kind of.
And he's the only one shooting everybody. No one else shot at anybody from the RV crew. Cuba Gooding Jr. was the only one who was shooting at people. And I was saying this to Han, is because he had to get in the shooting didn't get to shoot anybody in Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was going to, but he couldn't ride with the crew, man.
Yeah,
He just couldn't
exactly.
do it.
Yep.
He was ready to light everybody up in Boys in the Hood, but he just couldn't do it.
Furious Styles stopped him.
But I think JJ wants us to keep talking about the movie we're currently supposed to be
No, it's all
talking
good.
about.
It's all good.
I don't know if JJ has a high opinion of this movie. I don't think he's enjoying
No,
this pick.
It's all right. You know, like I said, it wasn't better than Raid the Redemption, but yeah, it was all right. You know, it could have been a lot worse. Trust me, I've seen a lot worse. We watched one the other night. You know, it's called Suicide Squad.
Oh, good God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Fuck that movie. Hey,
Yeah,
JJ,
but
JJ,
that was your fault, Slasher.
I know. I said give it 5 minutes in court, and then when everyone else started coming in to watch it, we watched the whole fucking movie.
Sorry. We got a Caillou up in this bitch. Caillou. Yeah, up in this bitch. Yeah, talking about the fucking giant starfish.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad. Darius, yes.
Yeah.
It's not Suicide Squad, it's the Suicide Squad. First of all, that's
It
such a
wasn't
dumb thing that they're doing.
No, that's not. I know why they're called the Suicide Squad, but you know, the first 5 minutes of the movie, all these motherfuckers are dying. It's like the getting murdered squad. I didn't get it. And I was like, man, these motherfuckers are dying. What's the point of the movie if you won't kill them all? But that was basically group one. You know, as I remember you saying, dude got shot in the face, but you know, he's back in prison. Well, you missed the transition where it said 3 days earlier.
Because they did the Pulp Fiction thing.
Yeah.
Like what you were talking about, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
But JJ, what was better? Judgment Night or The Suicide Squad? What's your opinion?
Judgment Night.
Movies. Oh, okay.
Judgment Night, by far, yeah.
Han, did you see The Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I have.
What'd you think of it?
It was a dumpster fire.
Han, what was better? Judgment Night or The Suicide Squad?
Honestly, I would say Judgment Night.
There you go.
So, a movie from 1993 no one gives a flying fuck about or who has spoken a single word of. Is this better than a movie that came out like fucking
last week?
Like 5
last
days
week.
ago?
That ought to tell you something because
Good job,
everybody in the chat, this ought to tell you something right here. Me and Slasher, the reason why we agreed to do these bullshit movie reviews is we're talking about movies back in the day, you know, back when our entertainment wasn't littered with such bullshit, and most of the stories actually counted, you know, and you know, even some of the special effects were still back when they were doing special effects, not the CGI bullshit.
You're talking about practical effects.
Yeah. It's back when movies were still great, man, and they're slowly but surely. I'm gonna say this, so don't laugh at me, but slowly but surely, at a fast rate, going downhill. I know that makes no sense whatsoever, but trust me, it's happening.
I agree.
So that's why we do these movie reviews. You know, I know Slasher didn't think too much of it, but last week's we did Firefox with Clint Eastwood, and you know, to me that's a wonderful film. And I'm gonna say this, guys, so don't flip out. You know, it's not The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker or Star Trek Discovery or Picard, or you know, it's none of this dumb shit that this we keep getting. This is why we're doing this. We got a little over 2 months of movies to do slasher. We got some good stuff coming. Really.
And more to come.
More to come after this. Yes.
More random movies we're gonna pick out of our collective asses and slap on the table and be like, yeah, sure. I haven't seen this movie since fucking 1989. Let's watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So that's why we're here. We're talking about this stuff here. Whether you've seen the movie or not, I'm thankful that everybody's in the chat. Got whatever name he's going by today, Jason Saint, Agent 42, The Truth Apocalypse. I know who you are regardless, but, Darius, Jens, thought I saw Han in here somewhere too, but, hey, he don't matter. He's on the panel.
I don't matter. Even if I'm not on the panel, I don't matter.
Even myself, even myself, and I'm the channel owner. We had Chris in there, LDG. It just shows we all got. Most of us have a common love, and that's classic. What we consider classic movies. 20, 30, 40-year-old movies. Not what we're fucking getting today. Because what we're getting today is ridiculous. I heard me and Slasher's already talked a little bit about this. There was this TV show, it was a sister show to Thundercats. It was called Silverhawks. And somebody's wanting to come in and redo this shit. And I don't have high hopes for this.
Well, they can't redo any cartoon series or movie from the 80s, early, mid-90s, because everything's too politically correct now.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I mean, that's point blank.
Yep.
It's also really stupid of them to do something of a series that only lasted, fucking 2 seasons max? Not even the figures lasted long.
Yeah, it didn't last very long, but even, we'll just take a movie that I'm sure most of us here loved, well, at least enjoyed. Red Dawn.
Yeah.
The remake, I'll be honest. The remake to Red Dawn was decent for a remake, but they wouldn't even say who the enemy was, which in the 80s they told you exactly who the enemy was, which is part of what you're rooting for is.
And it was fucking Patrick Stewart, guys. Come on.
And in the remake, they were generic military troops because they didn't want to point out a specific nationality or enemy because of being politically correct.
They did it before that.
Yeah, but we're doing all these movies. We got a nice long list for the next 12 weeks. 11 weeks
JJ,
now.
JJ, don't forget the letter grade. What's your grade?
Oh, I ain't even through the second question yet. You talking about letter grade, man?
We actually haven't talked about the movie very much.
That's true. You just mentioned the fucking barn Walmart more than anything.
Hey, guys, Carl, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in, man. But I was going to ask more, but you guys went on the barn Walmart trip again. What little you saw, what did you like about what you seen? Okay, enough said. I'm not going to drag it out of you. I heard and that sounded like that was good enough. Unless you got more to say.
Not a lot. Yeah.
Okay, all right. It's hard to judge a movie on just 10 or 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, especially if I haven't seen it since I was about 15.
And Han, what about you? Anything you liked about the movie besides the barn Walmart?
Honestly, the best thing, other than the bar and Walmart, the best thing to me about the movie was the cutting edge technology of the time. The motorhome that was full of CRT TVs that nobody sees anymore, and the
And for those of you,
the
and
fax
for those,
machine,
for those of you that does not know what a CRT TV is, it's a tube TV.
and the fax machine,
The
and
giant satellite
you
dish.
know,
The satellite dish on
the
top
giant
of it.
satellite dish on the roof, the old school NES system with the light
With the zapper
zapper.
gun.
with the light
Yeah.
zapper included, and the fact that he holds up the weird fax machine that looks like a VCR and shows the busted big screen TV that was like 25, maybe 30 something inches at the most. And he's like, oh great, now I have to pay for a big screen TV and a fax machine. It was the old technology that at the time was cutting
High
edge.
tech. Yeah.
That to us now, our phones
also-
do more than all that stuff put together.
Also, when you think about it, though, in the end, not like he had to pay for all that shit. Motherfucker got thrown off the roof.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, man, because even back in '93, you know that was a good $200,000-300,000 motorhome at the time.
Oh
Um, it's better off he died instead of trying to pay for that shit.
yeah, and his old school flip open phone with the plastic antenna. That really spoke to me too, because my first cell phone, after I had a beeper, which also dates my age. After I had a beeper, I had the old school, what we called at the time a flip phone, which wasn't like the more modern flip phones that most people know.
No, back then we called them car phones.
Oh, or bag phones. Remember the bag phones?
Oh yeah, them things were-
My now ex-brother-in-law had a bag phone that you could
I don't
move
know.
from
What's
car
that?
to car, and it was like the old school handset that you could pick up out of the thing and dial it, on the back of the phone. But this was a bag phone, so it was in like this big leather briefcase duffel bag thing.
Battery,
Yeah,
antenna,
and
all of it in a bag.
You could move it. It was like an old school car phone, but you could move it from car to car, and it had an input for an antenna. So any car you wanted to put it in, if it had an antenna, you could hook the antenna up with like a cable, and it
get
was
better
like this,
reception.
Yeah, and get better reception. It was like this old school phone that was huge. That you took the handset out that had like a curly cord on the end, like an actual phone.
Yep.
And on the back of it was like the numbers, and you could dial the number and like talk on this old school bag phone.
If I saw it in this movie, I'd remember what it looked like. If I know what it looked like.
Epic Jason Saint Agent 42. That's funny as hell, because my first cell phone plan for the first phone I ever had, I had free nights and weekends, but if you used it other than the night or the weekend, it was 25 cents a minute.
Yep.
Right?
So that's funny.
Yep.
Because I remember I was cool because I had a cell phone before pretty much everybody else I knew had a cell phone once I got rid of my beeper. And people were like, hey man, can I use your phone? And I was like, it's 25 cents a minute, so I would like make them pay me for using it.
Wow.
If it wasn't free nights or weekends, I would like make them pay me. If it was like the middle of the afternoon, I'd be like, hey man, it's
And the
25
nights
cents a minute.
And the nights always started at 7 p.m.
Yeah. And the weekend started at Friday, I think, at like 7 p.m. until Sunday at like 7 p.m. or something something similar to that. I forget.
And it's not like charges today, because charges today are completely different, because it doesn't matter. you got a call coming in or you're making a call, you're getting charged 25 cents a minute.
Yeah, but it's funny. You said 96, I think it was. My first cell phone I had in 96. Up until then, I had a beeper, which either you were the cool kid or when I was in high school, or you were a drug dealer and you had a beeper.
Yeah, you had to make sure you had a pocket full of quarters because you had to be able to stop at a payphone.
Yeah, because at that time they still actually had payphones everywhere, especially gas stations. So you would carry your beeper. And remember the beeper codes? Like people would send you certain codes. If you had one of those beepers,
Pager code, yeah.
yeah. If you had one of those beepers that they could enter like their own numbers. Some beepers, would just show you the phone number they called from, but some they could like physically put in their whatever they wanted to. So you
Yeah,
had
the
beeper
number,
codes.
your beeper code. Yeah.
Yeah, so you had beeper
nobody,
codes.
nobody had any beepers in this movie.
No, nobody did.
That was also kind of around the time where beepers were like getting popular.
Oh yeah, because in the late 90s, I had a beeper from the time I was like maybe a late sophomore to a senior in high school. I had a beeper.
That old Motorola that guy was using in there, man. That was high tech. Okay, that was fucking high tech. Pagers were everywhere.
At that time, when that movie came out, if you had one of those phones, you had to have fucking bank. I mean, that was probably even before the 25 cents a minute free nights and weekends plan.
Yep. Yeah. And anything else on that you liked about it?
No,
Hey.
not other than the Amish Walmart.
What's up, Jason? How you doing, man?
What's up, Jason?
Wow, Amish Walmart.
Well, I
dude.
mean
Come on.
the action. I mean the action. And you have to kind of rewind your brain.
Yeah.
Because like
it was
I told.
Because
like I told you and Slasher, I mean, and like Slasher said, I rented this or watched it on VHS, and I was like, I had to rewind my brain because I'm like, yeah, in early 92, 93, this would be a decent action movie. It just has not held up to the time,
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
And I'm not saying it was a horrible. I wouldn't watch it again, and I've never seen it before. I'm glad I watched it just to watch it. But I wouldn't watch it again just because.
That's why we do these anyway.
Yeah, I mean it was a decent movie. I mean I won't say like, oh, I wasted my time. This was a piece of shit movie. But at the same time, it was like it doesn't hold up to the test of time because the action and the drawn out. I mean, and like Slasher was saying partway through the movie, it's like this movie really could have been over in 20 minutes, and they drug it out to make it, more interesting and more, of an actual movie. But
if they didn't take that path off the traffic-filled highway, they wouldn't have gotten into that mess.
And
they'd probably still be sitting in traffic an hour and 49 minutes later.
And I also think it's funny, like Slasher was saying, that the so-called ghetto, all it had was like two people, a handful of homeless people that lived in a train car, and lots of newspaper blowing around.
Oh wait! Don't forget that there was the random bus that came through.
Remember, and the random bus,
a magical bus.
Yeah, the magical random bus that would have saved their lives, and the bus driver was like, "Fuck you!" I'm not stopping.
Yeah. They're running for the bus, and the bus driver they're like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. She's literally like, "Fuck you! I ain't stopping. I don't even want to be on this route. The only reason I'm on this route is because I got in trouble at work."
Y'all are crazy. All right, but now like I said, I like the movie. I don't think I'd ever rewatch it, but it wasn't a big disappointment as most of the ones I've been picking for slasher. But um,
No, I
come
would.
on, bro.
I
Come
would
on, bro.
say
Flash,
I wouldn't say
Flash
movies
Gordon.
are a disappointment.
Come
I
on,
wouldn't say
man.
it's a disappointment.
Flash Gordon. Come on.
I like Flash Gordon.
Oh, you did? Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. My bad.
Why do you keep
He-
thinking I don't like Flash Gordon? I
He
do
just
like
didn't
Flash
like. He likes everything you do, JJ, other than fucking Xanadu.
Gordon.
Stop ragging on Xanadu. That's a good movie. Um, after a good buzz, anyway, because it's real colorful. But anyway, Slasher, was there anything about this movie that you didn't like that you haven't already mentioned?
Yeah, it's drawn out. Like Han was saying, there's a lot of drawn out shit. Like most of the movie was them running. A lot of the movie
Yeah.
was them running.
They did. Hey, Bone, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
What's going on,
Hey,
bud?
Bone.
Yeah, man, they got a lot of exercise in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of running.
Went down
It
a
was-
couple water slides.
It was a bit drawn out, like Han was saying. I could say the same thing that I will say about Firefox that we watched last week. They could have shaved 20 minutes off this movie.
It was a spy movie, man.
I'm just saying, like the same with this movie. They could have shaved a good 20 minutes off this movie.
Maybe an hour and 20. Because all Cuba Gooding Jr. could have done was took his time, aimed a little bit, and he probably could have shot more than just one. So, but they had no idea of ammo conservation.
All right, see, Bone is saying the soundtrack was great. It was. The soundtrack was actually better than the movie. Like, you bought that soundtrack on CD, you would be. Chances are, if you had that soundtrack on CD and the videotape on VHS, like around the same time, chances are you would have been listening to the soundtrack more than you would have been watching that VHS.
There you go, Slasher. What's wrong with Xanadu?
Well, I'm not saying nothing about Olivia Newton-John. I was telling JJ I'm not a musical guy.
I understand that, but I figured even with ELO doing the, ELO doing the soundtrack to the movie, it's really not that bad. It does suck. It's like Grease, to the point to where like after every scene, someone's doing a song somewhere, and I'm like, come on.
I'm not ready to talk about my hatred of Grease again, JJ.
Tommy, what's up, man?
What's up,
What's up,
Tommy?
brother?
What's going on, Tommy? And no, I don't mean Grease the country. I mean
Grease. Grease the movie. Yeah, I was about to say, what do you mean Grease the country? I actually had to think about that for a minute.
Well, just that in
Nobody
general.
thought you were talking about the country. Literally nobody.
I mean in general, because that I had to learn that stupid song for my 6th grade graduation. So I'm always gonna have a grudge. I'm always gonna have a grudge against anything Grease involved.
Which song?
The fucking Ramalama Dingity Dingy Dong. That
We
fucking
come
song.
together
Fuck
like
that
a
song.
ramalama ding dong,
Fuck
bing
that
ding
song.
ding.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Together forever.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the singing.
I'm sorry.
It's oh no, that's all cool. It's just you're a little out of key.
Well, I never claimed to be a great singer. Moving your stream along what we're actually supposed to be talking about. My main problem with the movie was too many movie cliches. Like, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice myself for the better of the group, which doesn't really do anything or help anything.
Not at all.
And,
No, it just helps you die.
and the movie was, as Slasher said, way longer than it had to be. I mean, it could have been 20, 30 minutes shorter, because the better part, well, I say the better part, most of the movie was chase scenes that were way, way, way drug out by stupid movie cliches.
The sewer part was cool. They could have.
Well, I mean, the sewer part was cool, but the movie could have ended at the sewer part. I mean,
Yep.
honestly, the movie wasn't bad up until the sewer part, and the movie could have actually ended at the sewer part, and I would be like, "Oh,
they
that's
kept
that
going.
was
And they
that
kept
was
going.
yeah." And I would be like, "Oh, it ended at the sewer part. That was a pretty good movie." But once you add everything past the sewer part, that's like added bullshit that really shouldn't have even been in the movie.
You see that right, Han?
Don't make me put one of my wife's bras on because she's still pissed that I stretched that one out. Which is a whole other story.
Yeah. Anything else you didn't like?
I mean, not really. I mean, the only other thing I like is certain parts of the movie, like Cuba Gooding Jr.
It was shot
opens-
well. You can't deny it wasn't shot well.
No, I mean, it wasn't.
I think it looked good though, like, the way it was shot. I liked when
But-
they were in the sewer. They were doing the close-ups on everyone's face.
The sewer, honestly, the sewer was probably the best part of the movie. The scenes in the sewer were probably, honestly, the best parts of the movie. But Little Things is somebody that likes and uses guns for leisure sometimes. Is little things like which most movies are like this, so I don't really discount them for this. The guns they use fired way too much for what the number of bullets is they should have.
Yeah.
But the main part that really aggravated me with that was when Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
He pops the cylinder open on a revolver to see how many shots he has left in the revolver.
When him and Everlast are in that.
Yeah, and then shoots it,
In that
and
gun.
and then
What's up,
sits there and does the movie thing of click, 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 click. Like, I didn't realize I only had 3 shots left, and it's like, motherfucker, the last scene you popped the cylinder open to see how many shots you had left,
What's up, Parrothead?
and now you're gonna act like you didn't know
Hello,
how many
Parrothead.
shots you had left. Hey, Parrothead. That
Alright.
that as a gun enjoying person, and I know every movie has gun cliches, but to me that really aggravated me because I get the whole you have a gun that shoots 850 rounds when you have a 13 round magazine in there. I know how movies are,
And
but
you also see Dennis Leary as a big crime lord, though. Dennis Leary.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he was. I mean, yeah, he was supposed to be the bad guy, but the best part of Dennis
I don't
Leary.
see him as a badass. I liked him in the movie. I won't say that he did a good job in the movie. I'll say that much.
The best part of the movie was when the best part of the movie was when he did his little monologue that was basically one of his comedy routines.
While he's drowning one of his own men in the sewer.
Yeah, in the sewer, where they should have stayed to start with and could have picked everybody off one by one in the sewer, but they didn't.
But that's the movie, Judgment Night. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's
yeah.
honestly,
and it exists.
I mean, other than the movie being, other than the movie being drug out a lot longer than I think, like I said a minute ago, it should have basically ended at the sewer scene because, like, when we were watching it, Slasher's like, all this could have been taken care of in the sewer.
Because Cuba Gooding Jr. started going crazy, and he had the
Yeah.
right idea. When they stuck into the well, all right, no, Steven Dorff did almost get him killed,
That
but they still
that
should have stayed. They still should have stayed in the sewer. Though.
that and the
Let them all
time.
come through. They kill Zed from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
So
The movie going past the sewer scene, and the fact that Cuba Gooding Jr. opened the revolver cylinder
it's
and,
also all right. Also,
and
this is
looked at
stupid.
it.
Also, this is stupid. Dennis Leary decides to drown his own man in the fucking sewer water.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
Good job.
he
Good
was
job,
he
buddy.
was he was injured.
Bravo,
But
bravo.
think of how many people were injured in the movie and still carried on. So, if he hadn't drowned that guy, he probably could have carried on. Because that's how movies are. Oh, you're shot, or oh, you're stabbed, but you keep going. And instead, Dennis Leary drowns, supposedly, from what I took from the movie, one of his best men.
I'll say it was more funny seeing him as the bad guy than supposed to be like. If the point was for me to be intimidated as a moviegoer and see him as a bad guy, no, you didn't do a great job. You made him a little bit too Dennis Leary.
Yeah, when he does a stand-up act, basically, and he's killing this guy or killed this guy, and I'm like, I was listening to it. I had to step away for a moment. I was listening to it, and I heard you mention that. And I'm like, yeah, it did seem kind of stand-up-ish. Kind of like what he does in Demolition Man.
Yeah.
It seems kind of stand-up-ish.
Yeah.
I like doing this. I want cholesterol. I want to do this. I like this. I'm like,
But he writes that.
You know what I thought of the whole time Dennis Leary was on there? Was his song, I'm an Asshole.
I'm an asshole. Yeah.
Epic Jason, it was Judgment Night, not Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, man. T2.
I'm sure you put that to be funny, but yeah, we watched Judgment Night, not Judgment Day.
But yeah, I agree with all y'all. It could have been a little shorter. Hour 49 seemed to be a little bit too long for what it was.
That I was thinking that's what it was, but I was getting ready to say it was like almost. I mean, basically, we'll just say almost 2 hours. It was almost a 2-hour movie, and the first part of the movie up until the scene of them bailing out of the Pimptacular RV was a very, very small portion of the movie compared to basically what ended up being multiple chase scenes fighting with Dennis Leary and his cronies.
Yeah. Because the movie could have went an hour and a half, and that would have been great.
Hour and a half would have been perfect for it.
Oh yeah, because that would have cut out Amish Walmart that we like to talk about.
Well, I don't know. Now it put that thought all in our heads now. Because
I still agree though that if it had ended in the sewer, that would have been a much better movie than what we watched.
Yeah.
If it had ended in the sewer, because they contradicted themselves so much in the movie. Oh, there's only 3 ways in here. Well, there was multiple of them.
And then they leave.
Yeah, there's only 3
ways in here.
One of them has
Cuba
a gun.
Gooding Jr. is giving them all this pep talk. Let's see.
Yeah, there's only 3 ways in here. Okay, well, why didn't you all post up at one of the ways in there, hiding?
Let's stay here and fight.
Hiding the best you could, and if somebody comes from the way where you're at, beat them with the big pipe and kill them. And if anybody else comes in there and then tries to come your way, then kill them. I mean, because by that time it was like 3-on-3, wasn't it?
Yeah,
or 3-on-4 to start with before he drowned the dude, maybe.
The first one to die was Zed from Pulp Fiction. He was the first of Dennis Leary's crew that got killed.
Yeah, so if it hit to me, the perfect ending to the movie, and this is probably stupid or funny. This is just my thought. To me, the perfect ending of the movie it ends in the sewer.
With
They
them
get
fighting
out.
their way out of it.
Yeah, with them killing everybody.
Yeah.
They get out of the sewer, out the manhole that they leave for whatever
And they don't
reason.
have to talk to the cops because all those dead bodies are in the sewer.
Yeah, and
Right.
then they get on the bus and leave.
Yep. There we go.
To me, that would have honestly
You just rewrote it on the fly.
that would have been the perfect ending to the movie. Is the climax of the whole movie is in the sewer, like you said. They take care of everybody in the sewer. No trace of them. The bodies aren't going to be found for however long, or if ever. They climb out the manhole, whoever of them is left. They just so happen to see the bus pull up, and they actually, instead of the woman saying "fuck you," you're not getting on the
They
bus.
get on and everything's okay.
Yeah, they get on the bus.
And they're all bleeding on their way home on the bus.
Exactly. They
Like,
get on the bus.
And credit.
Yeah, they get on the bus. The bus leaves towards somewhere other than the ghetto that they're supposed to be in. To me, that would be the perfect ending to the movie, and like you said, cut 20, 30 minutes off the movie.
Well, though, I guess they couldn't just walk away from that whole thing without them not saying to Jeremy Piven's family that he died in the whole thing, so.
Well, I mean, you have that part, but I'm just talking about the characters that were left after that. As far as the ending of the movie, because at the end of the movie, there's still a lot of explaining to do.
Oh yeah.
As far as them getting away from the bad guys, and the movie ending with a happy ending for the good guys of the movie. To me, that would have been the perfect ending. Is they fight it out in the sewer, they overcome Dennis Leary and his cronies. They pop out of the manhole, and it just so happens when they pop out of the manhole, the bus gets ready to pull up at a bus stop, and they get on the bus and leave the area. And like you said, beat, wet, bloody, but they just get on the bus and they leave the area, and then roll credits.
All right. Now, last but not least, we're gonna, do our grading of it. And Slasher, what grade would you give it? And if you ask me the same question that you keep asking me,
I give it 2 thumbs up.
all right, Siskel.
Nah, I'm just kidding. B.
B? A B?
I'll give it a B.
All right. Maura, what you saw of it, what would you give it?
B as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cool. That must have been a powerful 20 minutes for you.
It probably would have been more powerful if nobody was constantly ragging on the store background instead of focusing on the fight. I was like,
we were all enamored by Bar Walmart. So.
All right, Han. What kind of grade would you give this movie?
Honestly, I would give it. I would give it a C minus.
Okay.
Borderline D. That's why I say C minus, borderline D. Just because, I mean, it was, for the time the movie was made, it was a decent movie. Like we were talking about, if I had rented it on VHS when it came out in 93 or 94, when it finally made it, 94 maybe, when it would have been on video. I mean, it would have been a good action movie, but going back now and watching it, it was way too long. All the stuff we've already talked about. So I would say C minus, borderlining on D, just because of modern times and what we know of modern movies. and the fact that it was way too long for what it was.
The running.
Yeah, the running time was way too long, and
There's running
the
and running.
the
I-
running the
I
running
just-
and the running time was way too long for what actually happened for most of the movie, or at least half the movie.
I just kept running.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, I had to go that route, about a C minus, something like that, because under normal circumstances, I say this from time to time, it wasn't a movie that I had to see. This was the first time I seen it, and it's just like I would imagine it back then. It just wasn't my style of movie, but I'm not going to sit here and say it was a bad movie. It was drawn out a little bit, and I can understand, with especially doing Firefox last week, it was drawn out too, and that particular movie was about an airplane, but you only saw the airplane the last 30, 45 minutes of the movie, which shot down the other 2 hours of it. It's like, come on, really?
Yeah. Han was mentioning during this movie is like how much fucking area have they covered running around and not got out of there yet.
And not to interrupt your grade, but like we're talking about, this is a decent sized city, obviously. They ran and were running. They ran and ran and ran, but somehow,
Didn't go anywhere.
5 minutes behind them was Dennis Leary and his cronies. They have no idea which way they turned, where they are, what block they went down, but somehow they stay right behind them the whole time. And I agree with you.
Pardon me for a minute.
Okay.
Pardon me for a minute. Tommy, are you having fun down there? Really?
He really enjoys us talking about Amish Walmart. There's several people in the chat that really enjoy us talking about Amish Walmart.
He's talking about using dog pulled carts and shit to the barn mart and shit. I'm like, really?
It could be possible. There was quite a bit of Amish-like construction other than the chain link fences.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Chain link fences.
to interrupt, but go ahead.
The multiple chain link fences.
Oh, many chain link fences. Many chain link fences.
Almost give a look of a well stocked prison.
Let's
Like,
not forget.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the display cases.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, and what was the beer? I don't even remember the beer now.
Oh, old style.
Old
Is it
style. It was like early 90s product placement, because in the Amish Walmart there was so much old style beer.
Amish.
Yeah, but you see, I wonder if that's their actual brand, because at the beginning of the movie they were drinking Budweiser.
No, Old
when they
Style.
were on- when
Old
they were
Style
on
is an
all
actual
the,
brand. It's an
when
old.
they were-
It's
when they were
an
on-
old brand that's not around anymore. But
Because
yeah,
it's that
Old
old.
Style is an
That old,
actual
that's not
brand
right.
of beer, or was.
Wow.
I should say was.
Okay, all right. But yeah, it was okay. It wasn't the worst thing I ever seen.
Yeah, I'd say okay.
I mean, I'm glad I watched it because I never seen it before, but I would never watch it again. And I mean, it wasn't painful to watch it. Like, I zoned out and was like, okay, I'm gonna go look at porn
Ron,
on
you should listen to the
or
soundtrack.
something. But
I think you might like the soundtrack better.
I probably would. But yeah, it wasn't. I'm like JJ. It wasn't the most horrible movie I've ever seen, but I wouldn't. I'm glad I watched it, but I wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah, I think I'm good on seeing this movie again too. I think I needed to see this again after fucking almost 30
Now,
years.
well, like I said,
Okay.
1993 me would have probably been into this movie because I mean that's kind of how action movies were in the early '90s, honestly. But modern day 2021 me is like, okay, that's cool. It's an old movie, but yeah, I'm good. I
Yeah,
saw it once.
well, hold on. As long as we do these on Wednesday night, you're more than welcome to hang out with us. We got some better stuff coming down the pipe here in the next couple weeks.
Or who
Uh,
knows? Maybe it's worse. Who knows?
uh, I'm talking about as far as I'm concerned, because I ain't gonna pick nothing that I didn't like, because I don't like it for a reason. And I'm not about to pick it and try to watch it. Um, we got some cartoons coming up, some cartoon animated movies coming up. We got some good sci-fi stuff coming up. We even got a comic book movie in there somewhere that we'll eventually get on to. So
Okay, we're gonna have to talk off air because I'm really intrigued and scared at the same time about animated movies.
I'll say it. No, I'll tell you right now. It's either
I didn't want to give away your streams. Is why I was saying I would talk about.
no. I don't know when we're doing it, but two of the movies that we're doing is the original GI Joe animated movie and Transformers the animated movie. You know, old school stuff. But when we're going to do this, no, we ain't doing Xanadu next week, Darius.
I'm pretty sure Slasher will tap out when you do.
No,
Xanadu.
hey, Slasher doesn't say when you do Xanadu, I won't be there.
No. I also made you this deal, man. We had a compromise, bro. It was I'll watch Xanadu if you watch Miami Connection. That was
I ain't watching. I'm not watching Miami Connection.
Then no Xanadu, bro. That's the deal. Then no Xanadu, bro.
And we ain't doing this. We ain't doing this one either, Bone. No.
Yeah, Grease. I can handle Grease 1 or the original Grease, but yeah, I'm not doing.
Grease puts me in a violent mood.
Yeah, I'm not doing.
Wow.
I wouldn't do Grease 2. The original
There we
Grease.
go. That's a great one.
Oh yeah.
Barbarella.
Never
Yeah.
seen it.
And it's fucking weird.
It's drawn out for what it is for you, Slasher. But there is some titties in it, some sci-fi stuff in it. You know,
I still think you need to do Chopping Mall.
I ain't watching the movie.
It has titties. You were just talking about titties.
Hey,
It has
Chopping
titties
Mall.
Moira hates me for that movie.
Yep. But I'm forgiving you.
in it. You want to talk about a horrible, like, what would that be, Slasher? Not even a B movie. That would be like that would be like a D movie.
Yeah. I'd say
Hey, a horrible movie. Okay, we just did it a couple weeks ago. It was Dolph Lundgren's Masters of the Universe.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a stinker too. I'd say I'd rather watch Chopping Mall than Masters of the Universe again. Chopping Mall was at least like, I don't even think that movie was an hour long. I think that's what helped that movie.
Darius said Miami Connection is worth a Xanadu.
It is. It is.
You all still need if you like beat 'em up, bloody, almost Quentin Tarantino-esque movies. You all need to do The Night Comes for Us that was on Netflix or is on Netflix.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh,
I'm surprised my friend hasn't heard of it either.
Yeah,
Tommy, it's already age restricted. It's already age restricted. I got the stream marked, and it's also in the description. This content is not for children.
I just automatically do that for all my streams, no matter what my streams are.
Yeah, because you have some janky characters coming on from time to time. Ain't no telling what you're gonna get.
Well, and if you don't make it age restricted, if you say it's for kids, then nobody can leave comments after the fact.
Oh wow.
It turns off the comments on the replay or the video that you put up if you say it's for kids or it's okay for kids. It turns the comments off, so that way weirdo pedos can't comment
Well,
on stuff.
I'll let you know. Ain't nothing I do on no channel. Nothing I do is meant for children. Now the older kids that decide to can find ways and sneak their way into these streams. Yo, it's on them. That ain't on me because they're the one breaking the rules. But that's okay. You know, as long as you're 18 or older, have fun. Watch. This is meant for you. Younger than you? Nope, it's not. Well, I don't know. Today's 18-year-olds are still like 12-year-olds. They're like, oh my God, I want my safe space. Most of them anyway. But anyway.
Yeah, good.
With that being said, we're close to an hour 45. I want to thank everybody in the chat for popping in tonight and listening to our rambles. You know, because even on randomness, I appreciate everyone that shows up and random movie review. Well, that's exactly what it is. It's just random. It's just whatever we come up with. Slasher, Moira, Han, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it, and since I'm off on Wednesdays now, I hope I can participate in more of these movie watch parties / reviews.
Okay, it's my pick. So let's take a look. Oh God, that is so bright. Let me do this real quick. There you go. Let's see. Let me do this. Do some editing real quick. We watched Judgment Night, so we're taking that one out. All right. All right, Sasha, I'll give you a choice.
No,
I'm looking at. No, I understand that. I know, but you know, I would pick any of the three I'm about to mention.
One of them is going to be Xanadu. I know it's going
to be. No.
He's giving you the choice of Xanadu.
Xanadu or Xanadu.
He's giving you the choice of Xanadu, the Babysitter's Club, or was it the Sisters of the Traveling Pants, or whatever that one movie was called?
I thought it was going to be Xanadu or the director's cut of Xanadu.
And the extended version of Xanadu. That's your three choices.
Okay. All right. I'm sitting here trying to decide in between A Knight's Tale.
That's actually I didn't mind. That was actually a pretty good movie. I like The Knight's
Batman '89 or Dread.
Okay, you already said it with that second one. So there we go.
Batman.
Those are all good picks.
Okay, yeah, we'll do Batman 1989 next week.
Yes. Fuck yes.
Okay.
My second favorite movie of all time.
Sound good, Han? I know you've seen Batman. Michael Keaton.
All of those choices sounded great to me, but yeah, that's a great choice.
They did, but Batman 89 just overshadowed everything.
All those are great choices. So yeah, Batman 89, yeah, that's an awesome choice.
No, not that one. Not that one. Not the Stallone one, the Carl Urban one.
Yes.
It's just called Dread. Oh, you seen that, Moira?
Oh yeah, I like it much better than the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it was.
I'll have to remember that. I'll have to remember it. Yeah, I'll have to remember it.
Fabulous. And
well, I'll remember it and make a thumbnail.
Carl Urban was fabulous, and he did much better than Stallone, which was Stallone and that one guy just kind of made a joke of the movie.
Rob fucking Schneider.
Yeah, I couldn't take it seriously, but Carl Urban, he did a way better job.
But anyway,
He looks better.
Thank you.
He acts better. It's all around better.
okay.
Carl
Yeah,
Urban is
yeah.
delicious. I'm sorry, but I liked him in Red 2 when he's playing that FBI or CIA guy. He's getting his ass kicked by who's our diehard guy, John McClane, motherfucker.
Yeah, Bruce
Bruce
Willis.
Willis.
Thank you. Yes. And then there he is mending his wounds after OG just whooped his ass in his own office. And she's like, "You just got your ass handed to you by a damn geriatric." I was like,
The red movies are pretty good, actually.
I
like the
know,
Red
I like
movies.
them. I love Carl Urban in it.
I
He's
actually
fabulous.
have the red movies. I think it was it. There was only 2 of them, I think. Red 1 and
Yes,
Red 2.
there's only 2.
I have them on like a double DVD that has like both of them on it.
Oh yeah,
That I got out like a
Willis.
$5 bin at Walmart.
He called Bruce Willis that diehard John McClane motherfucker. He's like, who is he? He said, who is he?
All of that was easier to
John
remember than
McClane
Bruce
diehard
Willis for some reason. Yes.
That moonlighting son
Wait,
of a bitch.
what? The only thing Urban. Dude, that sounds fucked up, man. That could be misconstrued as something. What the fuck is wrong with you? God.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine, Peaches.
What, right for office? He's trying to make me sound like I'm a damn bigot or some shit.
Nah.
No, she was just talking about that moonlighting motherfucker.
Yeah, who is white?
That geriatric. Okay.
I remember.
Well, yeah,
Moonlighting.
because
I remember that show, Moonlighting.
because there's a
Yeah,
scene
so do
where
I.
they're fighting in Carl Urban's FBI office, and he goes, "Did you get trained by so and so?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I trained him," and it's just an impressive ass whooping scene. It's great.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Everybody in the chat, thank you for showing up. Everybody on the panel, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. And with that being said, say goodnight, everyone.
Good night, Gracie.
everyone.
Good night.
Now buckle this. Ludicrous speed. Go!